So if someone was to walk up to you and say, taste this, you would say, I'm not tasting shit. The same can be said with technology that is biomaterial. It has a certain taste. It's just you can't taste it because it's only one or a few grains of it. A baker's dozen. How many is a baker's dozen? Can that make a difference of your body actively or inactively engaging in something? Is if there's a drawstring, you know not to step on it, or else it will make the mechanism not actually work the way it was intended it for. When friction results in a superconductivity, mainly an area of extreme slipperiness between the friction of two surfaces, it can be disregarded as extreme radius. How extreme is a radius of the most superconductive material is something that of which can be denoted in the LHC in Geneva, Switzerland. But does that make it more or less equal to you doing anything, the most important thing in your life? And that's why curbs are so important. At the corner of it is in the splitting lines of a division of a business that can be highly funded by the government, and you could redirect that funding if you make a product better than them that tastes better and makes more sense. So they'll chauffeur you out of their grounds, but if you're on the corner of a curb and their driveway, it's constitutionally a world of difference. A lot of the material I handle is kind of dicey because it's hard to ask the right question. When standing at a corner, I would explain a constitution of being different from a sidewalk to a driveway of a business. This in terms, if asked the right question, would be, which is more expensive? Outside all the public area of concrete or sidewalks or bridges compiled into expenditure, is that more expensive than a company? A company of any magnitude and of as much public property, there's a word, public property, as much public property in the entire country, that expenditure, now we're talking of how much quality that might mean. A bang for the buck gets redefined in terms of that dynamic. Actuaries, fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be some turmoil. Of an entire key is like a locksmith making an insurance claim where everyone's going to have to get a spare key in order to be not inside of a complex that would make a gain of function out of your life. Like trying to match your raw material to pixels is pointless because there's so much, unless you indoctrinate merging systems, then you can talk about sets and sequences or series. So in reorchestrating a purchase, it comes down to like a computer. So when the computer acknowledges if you've got cash back or it's just going to be through a card digitally, that card digitally could take a few days to process. So in cashback, it's all orchestrated through a computer, and that's how important computers are to note the difference of what you're trying to do with one. Because the orchestrating of bringing a item back could mean absolutely nothing if you're trying to match with the plastic wraps and the cardboard that you rip to open the product. That has nothing to do with that computer accepting a cashback option or not. And this is important if you're losing things. Are you almost ready? Never mind. So in the deduction of reasoning, a lot can be lost, but the loss of, something is what in court they describe as the discovery. If the judge doesn't find discovery in anything, you don't have any standing. Just as like getting cut in line, if you're talking into someone else, the amount of standing that takes place is uncertain, so discovery can go unnoticed.
Yeah, that's where we're at.